Frosinone Calcio, my hometown club, the embodiment of my Italian family roots. It's been no secret that I've given them my unwavering support over the last 10 years.
Here I come.
Unlike any other club out there, it's a family.
It's about damn time that I take matters into my own hands before I visit in a couple weeks and watch them play live for the first time ever, instead of at 3 a.m. in the morning.
What am I witnessing? What is going on? How?
Come on! Yes!
So let's take them over in career mode and make them the best damn team in world football. From relegation strugglers to the ultimate glory, I will be there no matter what. I'm gonna try and manifest some good juju into this club, because goddamn we need it. It's been a while since you've seen him, the managerial mastermind, Sir BCHD looking schmick. And you can bet your bottom dollar he's at the helm. Look, let's face it, our transfer strategy this summer has been going on a lone bonanza, relying on big teams and their youth talent to come and perform for us because they're not quite ready yet for big club first team football, but are perfect for our current project right now. And our sporting director, he's basically been playing career mode in real life. He watches the videos, lads. We're gonna have to make either one or two of these permanent deals because we can't handle losing all these players. Whatever happens to us this season, it is going to be a major shock to the system. Depending on the performances, depending if we stay up. Have we been blessed by the gods? Let's take a look at our youth academy. Any homegrown talents to report on, and that might just be the worst youth academy I have ever walked into. Yeah, we're forgetting about this, lads. We're doing it the hard way. No homegrown talents are here to bail us out this time. If you're a career mode diehard and have ball knowledge like that, you might recognize some of these names. From the Matthias Soulers of the world, down to Caleb Okoli, even Rainier, who I've never dreamed of a talent wonder kid from Real Madrid playing for us, but here we are. To the Caio Georges, to the Baranechea, the Juve triplet. I don't know who we can keep a hold of because we only have a budget of around £7 million to work with, so we're gonna have to be frugal with it and find some basement bargain deals, some hidden gems, some superstar talents that Sir BCHD can mold into the perfect player. We are going in with the long haul. This is a road to glory if I've ever seen one. The mission is simple. We have to survive. For the first time in club history, I just want to stay up and then take it from there. Now, our first order of business is that we've got to try and make some of these loan deals permanent, and the only one we can afford right now for £4.9 million under his market value, we're going to get our number one shot stopper, Stefano Turati, on a permanent basis. Thanks to the realism mod, we've got brand new tattoos, brand new game faces, so you're probably going to see them all pop up throughout the rebuild. But we're welcoming the shot stopper back into the building. This time he'll be staying at the club, but that's pretty much the only loan deal I can afford to make permanent right now. Unless we make some major sales, we get one of the most underrated young keepers in Italy right now, and he'll be our long-term play in the future. Now, our first main piece of action, new player walking through the door, and we're kind of picking up where our real-life sporting director left off in the transfer market, picking up young, hyped-up talents from the big teams and taking them under our wing, developing them to become a future star of tomorrow, and that's exactly what we're doing here with the Italian right-back Caio there. He's arriving from Fiorentina on a loan-to-buy basis. He's only here for 12 months, but if we have enough funds at the end of the season, we do have the option to make it permanent. And another one strolls in. We're just focusing on our backline right now. Statistically, we're the worst defensive team in Serie A, conceded the most goals. Crazy. As soon as 2024 hit, we just started conceding goals for fun. And this guy, again, it's going to be another long-term play. We got to think long-term with this kind of club, with this kind of rebuild. We have dipped our toes into the Spanish market, and it's Valencia's Yarek. He's got long, luscious locks, and he just looks like a calm presence at the back. He can also do a shift at left back, and again, we've somehow finessed and made it a loan with an option to buy. And talk about finessing. Hey, this is my football club. There are no rules. I'm trying to keep things realistic, but I want to make it as if I was playing the career mode just by myself. What I would do in this position naturally. I don't really have any rule sets or boundaries. I want to make it as fun as possible for me. This is a pretty personal video, and I want to make things that I would do, my like 16-year-old career mode brain would do, and that is to finesse a permanent move for one of the most hyped up wonder kids in Germany, Paris Brunner, who just recently won the Under-17 World Cup. He's an elite goal-getter from the BVB Academy. We managed to pull off one of the trade deals of the century. Our new number 24 arrives for 40k. Yes, 40k, you heard that right. Plus, one of my least favorite players in real life, Emanuele Valeri. Let's just say I'm not a fan of him. We'll keep it at that. This exciting prospect who hopefully is going to be bagging goals for fun in future. I don't know if we're going to have enough funds to make it permanent at the end of this campaign, but we're going to have to find the funds from somewhere. Because it's Man City's Norwegian. No, it's not Haaland. It's Oscar Bob. Arriving on, you guessed it, a 1-year loan deal with the option to buy. And here he is to make the confirmation, to give it the green light. Because there is no doubt in my mind that we need a backup plan B, plan C, for when we lose Sule. And already things ain't looking good, bruv. We need like a Saudi investor or something. Come on, man. I want some oil money injected into this club. Given our financial situation in this current market, I could have just gone all in on free agents and used that as a little loophole, but I've only granted myself one, the Mexican midfielder with the game face, Marcel Ruiz, who is just a mastermind in the middle of the park and play pretty much anywhere centrally. And now we've secured one of FC24/FIFA 23's famous Mexican free agents. We love a cheeky unemployed Mexican, and he's gonna slot straight in midfield on a free. You can't get much better than that. I got no idea what club he plays for in real life. I haven't really heard of him until I did some scouting in the free agent basket bin. And believe it or not, he instantly becomes one of the best players at the club, if not the best. It's been a new player frenzy, but we've had to do some work on the back end, of course, sending a couple players out on loan, including Ilario Monterizi off the Twente for a 2-year loan spell, and Marco Brescianini, who was probably one of my favorite players. He's grown into this season well, but in FIFA, he's just very underrated and not first team quality. And Albanian centre-back Sergio Calai is off to the MLS, joining Atlanta United for a 2-year loan. And I'd love to try and get this potential loan glitch happening, of course. I need it to happen for my club to succeed. Trust me, lads, you're gonna see every trick pulled out the book. Every little strategy I have up my sleeve will be on full display. This is my club at the end of the day. It'd be an embarrassment if Sir BCHD doesn't succeed here. No major sales news because we don't really have any major assets to sell off, but we just need to purely make financial strategic decisions, and that's exactly what we've done here with Luca Garitano being sold off. He'll be headed to Spain. Osasuna pick him up for £2 million. We also managed to pull through with a few more loan deals out of the club for players who were just surplus to requirements, not really good enough yet. And now let the season begin with survival the key goal. I don't care. If you offered me his 17th place, I'd shake your hand right now, as this is our starting 11. We've got a couple of fluid formations we can switch between. I know they're young, but I want this playing group to be versatile. So here goes nothing, lads. Let's get this bread. Now, season 1, where did we end up in the Serie A standings? So much comes down to this, as Milan take the title home on the last day. It could have been a 5-team title race. We scroll on down. It's not looking good. 17th on 35 points, tied with Udinese, but either on goal difference or head-to-head, we prevail through on the tiebreaker, and that means Udinese, Empoli, and Lecce all meet their destiny in Serie B. We survived for the first time in club history under Sir BCHD's guidance, baby, and that's one major hurdle we had to get over. Over in the Coppa Italia, we didn't make it far. I'd love a cheeky cup run just like we did in real life, but we'll knock out in round 2 to Ascoli 3-1. We beat the drop, and now we can freely plan on being a Serie A staple. The fight ain't over yet. We've got so many players leaving on loan. We have to activate a few of these loan deals. Yarek, let's settle this buy option. £1.7 million. I'm happy to pay that. Let's get it done. And Michael Cahill there, we're settling that buy option. £1.5 million is looking like chump change right now. We're literally scraping by. We only just managed to afford both those players and make it permanent. Oscar Bob, we've got to say farewell because we just can't fit him in the budget. Over the course of the season, some players got called back from their loan spells because clubs are just that brutal. Who are our survival protagonists? And we have Matthias Sule. Pretty much our top 5 performers were all loan players. So Matthias Sule, we're going to miss him. He's a future Ballon d'Or winner, mark my words. 14 goals, 8 assists. We're going to miss Rainier, that creative spark, that little bit of Brazilian yoga bonito. 9 goals and 5 for the Real Madrid star. We actually had Francesco Gelli, who had a brilliant campaign for Udinese. Khedira chipped in with 5 goals. Caio George 4 and 1 off the bench. Finally, a player we actually own, Giuseppe Caso, with 4 goals and 1. Oscar Bob only with 4 goals and 6 appearances. And Marcel Ruiz, the freebie, our Mexican in the middle of the park, 3 goals and 6. Sound investments for the future. I'm glad we made these 2 permanent. Bruno couldn't really make much of an impact, but there will be much more space open for him in season 2. And not one of our players have been hit with the loan glitch. No crazy growth to report on whatsoever. Bring on season 2, where we have got a mammoth task of trying to replace this squad full of loanees. Look at all those loan expirings happening in the top right. We are cooked. It is going to be a surgical summer, but bring on back-to-back top flight campaigns, because Frosinone, we deserve to be there. Alright then, and the transfer budget we're working with this time around, we're going to have a look and see 13 million pounds, bruv. We are going to struggle. This is going to be first of many plays in season 2, but we got a little bit of history with this guy in real life. Dean Hujgen from Juventus. Again, we're plucking the players from the best teams in the land, and he is one of them. The Dutch centre back, poised to be the next elite. We're actually meant to sign him in January this year, but then Roma hijacked the deal. Mourinho wanted him, and then he switched up on us. He was literally supposed to be a Frosinone player, but then he just snaked us at the last second, and to make matters worse, he came to our own ground with Roma and scored on us. So it wasn't really a good look. He started shushing the crowd, but you know, in FIFA, I'll forgive him. Karimo, 2-year loan deal, the chance to make it permanent for only £5 million, and he could be a special defensive unit for us for the years to come. Me, I want to build a roster that's going to make a special team with special players that have special plays, and this guy, in terms of the career mode world, is right up there with his game face scan. It is one of the most exciting talents coming out of Belgium right now. Duranville at BVB again, and he's sitting next to Sir BCHD, ready to make an impact on either flank. He is going to be our next big winger, only for £4 million, I should say. And again, it's that transfer now, so what a shrewd piece of business. Our defensive situation in that department is probably our weakest area right now, and we've got to get in some more reinforcements, and that's exactly what we've done here with the Frenchman Zizi, who in his photo looks like he's been smoking on a bit of Zaza, but nonetheless he arrives from Nantes for £2 million, and the Frenchman will provide us some great centre-half coverage. Now, as we learned in Season 1, the kids are alright. We gotta trust the youth talent and the wonder kids on the come up. As I've allowed myself only one free agent a season, again, we're on the frugal side this time around with our finances. We have to poach on these opportunities. We've got the likes of AC Milan letting go of Alex Jimenez, the versatile wingback we've plucked on a free. That is going to be another bargain basement deal. The new blood is slowly dripping into this Season 2 squad. There's going to be a lot of changes, and they ain't loan deals this time. I want to make this stuff permanent. We are building a future long-term project that needs to be realized, and Sir BCHD has managed to convince this lad to no, don't play with Messi, Suarez, Biscuits, Jordi Alba. Nah, leave that all behind. Leave the Miami lifestyle and come join us here in Serie A in a proper league. Benjamin Kremashki, welcome to Frosinone for £2.4 million. He's going to be our brand new starting cam to replace Rainier. Now, this centre midfield gem, I've been eyeing him out for a while. I've wanted to sign him in a rebuild for quite some time, and I thought this was the perfect moment. He's from Sweden, the national flag matches our colours, and thanks to the realism mod, he's actually got his game face, and that is the boy Bergvall, a centre midfielder who is tricky. He arrives from Sweden, and we put in a little bit of a trade deal. Jelly plus £1 million headed the other way, and we get Lucas, the future Swedish Viking, on the come up. We're being frugal with our money, lads. We are spending very little here and there, but acquiring quality and ballers that I know can do it in the top flight and break down Italian defenses. And this signing, it's a little bit personal. I gotta involve some of my Aussie roots, of course, half Australian, half Italian, and here he is. It's Nestori Irankunda, probably one of the most exciting superstars to come out of Down Under. In real life, he's headed to Bayern, but in this save, he moved to Lyon, and now we've acquired his services for £2.8 million. It's an excellent deal, if I do say so myself. Even though he's 18, the kid's got talent. Like, look up some of his highlights on YouTube. He can absolutely bang them in from anywhere on the park, and he's just an explosive little pocket rocket. And after that shopping spree, we've still got to have to raise some funds to get these players off the wage bill, to put our finances in order and balance the books. I don't want to end up like other Italian clubs and file for administration, so let's pray that doesn't happen ever again. We're selling off a few pieces of dead wood and sending out some old stalwarts of the past like Luigi Canotto. We're cashing in, people. This one's a funny one, lads. Okay, I didn't actually sign him because the last season our players were called back from loan, and because they were called back, our squad size was too small, so the board started signing all these random players just to fill up the numbers so we'd have to forfeit each game. For some reason, he was on the free agency. The board signed him whilst I was simulating, and we've somehow cashed in for £16 million. That is a huge chunk of change. Julian Quinones, thank you very much. No, 21.3, even better. And it's all from nothing. It's all from the board operating in silence in the background, so I'll take it. Now, another area of the pitch we're running pretty thin in is the winger department, and we wanted to pick up a nice, promising, young, homegrown Italian talent. So the man with probably the craziest hairstyle I've ever seen in my life, Luca Cogliosho, will be making his debut in Serie A for the big boys, and for £5 million becomes one of the most expensive players we've bought. I know, only £5 million, but still, that's big money for for a club like us. And another homegrown talent who's currently lost in the Premier League. He was let go by Inter's youth academy. He was out on loan in Chelsea's youth system. And now we're bringing him back to the homeland. It's Cesare Casadei to provide a little bit more midfield cover. We're banking on him for £2.3 million under his value. I'm a betting man. I want to take a gamble on his career. We've got to spend some of this newfound money we have wisely. And one of the best purchases and smartest choices I think we can make right now is investing in our backline, because it is aging and someone who is top flight ready. He's breaking our transfer market record right now. Otavio, the Brazilian centre back, who looks like he can be the next Eder Militao, the next Marquinhos. He arrives from Porto for £10.9 million, and we are damn right near breaking the bank. This is one sale that's going to hurt me a little bit, because he's pretty much been our best player, club captain over the past 2 years, and that is Luca Mazzitelli. In real life, he's a beast, but in career mode in FIFA, we got to operate differently. So we all know Italy right now, on a national team level, we are missing that cold-blooded killer, a regular goal-getter that we can rely on. So I want this club to be the main reason why we produce a next top-level national striker. You know what they say, great things come in small packages, and this guy, he's not a target man, nowhere near it, 5'8" in fact, but he's the younger Vignato brother. If you know, you know. I want him to be like a super sub off the bench, and to offer Paris Brunner a bit of competition up front. Let's hope he nets a few in Serie A. Former Monza player for £4.55 million. I've got faith in the little magician, and I'm sure he's going to repay us with goals in abundance. Here's how the senior team is looking for the first Serie A match day back in Season 2, and like I said, it is going to be another struggle. Trust me, we aren't guaranteed safety by any means, as we've given the free agent find of the rebuild so far, Rui's the captain's armband. There's a lot to be excited about with this team. Many promising stars of the future. However, what I want to see for certain is an improvement from campaign 1. The curtains have closed on our sophomore Serie A season, and we clearly avoided the drop. We were nowhere near the relegation battle, which is what you love to see, starting to establish ourselves as a Serie A staple. And the 3 to go down are Bari, Ascoli, and Coscienza. All 3 promoted sides getting relegated, as Monza and Cagliari both narrowly beat the drop. We finished up on 46 points, 13th. It is Napoli getting their 4th Scudetto. They go ahead and retain the title with 88 points. Milan, Inter, and Juve all making up the top 4. Over in the Coppa Italia, it was Juventus to win 2-0 against Milan. Lecco made it all the way to the semi-finals. God damn, what a miracle run that was. If only we could have replicated that, because we were eliminated again early on in round 2 to Serie B outfit Venezia. You can see the vision. You can see what we're cooking and what we're building. Yes, we're not perfect. Yes, we don't have all the money in the world to play with. No big time investors here, ladies and gentlemen. We are just focusing on young players who are aiming for the top with the right mindset, and it's one of our own to come in as one of the best performers this season. 10 goals and 6 assists for Beppe Caso. Again, this lad, he's just like, check his highlights out on YouTube, man. He's absolutely rapid. Burns people for pace, draws the fouls, 16 goal contributions were valuable. Duranville in his debut stint, 7 goals and 1, and Paris Brunner up front with 6 goals. We had Cesare Casadei getting a surprising amount of game time there, 6 goals and 1. We had Hujian from the back with 5 goals and 1, and then the club captain Marcel Ruiz, the Mexican, with 9 goal contributions, and then what seemed to be our best playmaker on the park, the American Kremashki, who I'm sure has a little bit of Italian blood in him somewhere. 2 goals in from Samuele Vignato off the bench. So something we've got to keep our eyes on as we get all 4 of these, Lusardi, Calais, Brescianini, and Monterisi, back from their loan spells in Season 3. Now, we can't become a selling club. I don't want to be no feeder club here. We got to keep a hold of our superstar talents. We still have a lot more recruiting to do, a lot more chemistry to play around with, as right now the team spirit, the fan confidence is at an all-time high as we lead into our 3rd straight Serie A campaign, and we have about £19 million to spend, so not much to play with. But our first big operation is to make this Dean Hujian deal official. I want to settle that buy option for only £5 million, because his value is nearly triple that. It's big brain moves from your boy Sir BCHD, the master negotiator, and it's still early days. There we have it, one of the bargains of the rebuild so far. It's a classic RTG type signing. Now, if we wanted to make a statement signing like this, we had to go big or go home. We needed a real midfield presence, a commander, an enforcer in the middle of the park, and someone with potential future leadership qualities. And look, my club loves a South American, especially in the last couple transfer windows. We have the man Oscar Zambrano. He gets full marks just for the name alone, but a cheeky little trade trade, offering up Abdul Hadoui plus £10.7 million. Pressure makes diamonds, people, and he is going to slot straight into our first team 11. That's how much I have confidence in him. The Ecuadorian signing on the dotted line is actually an exciting prospect. I didn't expect him to have that potential range, but here we have it. Just that type of player arrival that are going to boost our chances to remain more competitive and challenge for those European places, as this team's still young. They're an inexperienced bunch. We're going to have to be patient because they're going to take some time to marinate as we're converting Jimenez, the Spanish right back, into a left back. We don't have any money for a new wing back, so that's going to be our solution for the time being. Nonetheless, we're still going to be fighting it out and holding it down on our quest to the top of Italian football. You know what they say, third time's a charm. As we take a look at the Serie A standings, here is the ladder, and down we got a little bit of motion. 55 points, we are climbing the table. We are bang straight in the middle. No European action for us, but damn, we came close. Only 1 or 2 wins away from finishing in the top 8. Going down, it's Salernitana, Catanzaro, and Brescia, all meeting their Serie B fate. And trust me, people are starting to take notice of what we've got going on over here, as we made a quarterfinals run, just like we did in real life recently. Knocked out to Juventus, same opposition, 3-1. There are so many directions we can take this in, lads. This would be a dream if this happened in real life, and I'm grateful I get to take them on my own journey here in career mode. We have Paris Brunner, a season 1 investment, starting to get into a little bit of a goal scoring stride, the German netting 15 times. And we have the man that can do it both, Ben Kremashki, with 8 goals, 8 assists. Nestori Irankunda finally found his footing on the right with 8 goals and 2. Koleosho off the bench with 7 and 1. And Duranville up to an 80 rated baller, the Belgian, with 6 and 6. Giuseppe Caso is still putting in the work, putting in those shifts. And Marcel Ruiz from deep in midfield, 4 goals and 10. Bergval off the bench, who I'm impressed with, 4 and 4. And Samuele Vignato is just being a constant threat off the bench, 4 goals and 13 appearances. The Ecuadorian's debut here in Italy, 3 goals and 6 assists for the 22-year-old, and he is reaping all the rewards with a +4 upgrade, and is proving to be a shrewd signing. We want to be the biggest club in Lazio, and I can smell European football, a qualification of some sort, but I don't know what it is, but it's around the corner. Season 4, we know what we have to do, the challenge is there, but yeah, if we're not winning trophies, if we're not qualifying for Europe, the money situation's always going to be tight. And how's a piggy bank looking for this campaign? We've got 24 million. Again, we're going to have to pull off some more money ball miracles if we want to keep charging up the table. It's the second transfer market in a row now where we've gone for quality over quantity, and we've just gone for positions where we desperately need a new player. Like a backup goalkeeper, we've opted for Sebastiano Desplanches. He'll be our second string shot stopper despite what his kit number says, but we're welcoming back a player from season 1 with open arms. Current day player Caleb Akoli, who was only on loan from Atalanta. We've decided to make it permanent because I miss him. He's just a defensive king, and he's grown into his game all season long. I'm talking about real life, but in career mode, he's a decent prospect too. However, we did have to sacrifice that young Spanish defender, Yarek, plus £17.3 million, so that's pretty much our entire budget gone. And our Spanish left back, Alex Jimenez, who we found on a free, thought it was too good to be true, and it was, because he submitted a transfer request, and now we're on the hunt for a brand new right back. Now, to solve this left back crisis we've got going on, we have to do some last minute dealings I didn't expect to pull through with. Some last minute scouting, some very spontaneous action going on here, as we have both of our starting left backs who requested a transfer, so off they go. They both didn't want to be at the club, so be it. Fine, I don't want bad eggs in the dressing room. As a result, we've had to call in the cavalry, and by trade he's a left wing back, but he will do the job. A Frenchman I've just discovered at Monaco, Utara, who's going to take that starting spot by the scruff of the neck. And £12 million later, we've thrown money at the problem, so fingers crossed it all works out. But now, we got to connect all the puzzle pieces together and hope it clicks. Now, after a remarkable 4 consecutive stints in Serie A, we finally cracked the top 10, and it looks like we have, coming through in 8th, entering that European qualification conversation, and we were just outside the Seven Sisters, as it was Juve to finish top with Scudetto, Lazio, Inter, Inter and Milan to take home the Champions League spots, as the Giallaazzurri are making club history in the nearly 100th year anniversary of the club. Juve got the better of Milan 2-1 in the Coppa Italia final, and yet again we failed to make a decent cup run, knocked out in the round of 16, eliminated by Napoli 2-1. I am craving a European tour, and so are these lads. Top goal scorer for the club, of course it's going to be the main man up front, still at only 21, Paris Brunner, running the show with 15 goals and 1 assist. The German has slow, steady growth, but I'm expecting him to absolutely explode in the coming years, such as Julian Duranville with a +5 overall boost, a well-deserved upgrade after 15 goals and 8 assists. Nestori Irankunda on the right with 12 and 1, and then Kremashki had one of his best years yet. He's bringing back that creative number 10 role, and he's got abilities in spades because he's been our main playmaker, 14 assists and 4 goals. Koleosho, who's probably coming in off the bench, replacing Irankunda with 4 goals and 2. And then the new boy at left back, Uatara, who had to come through at short notice and be our brand new starting left back, 3 goals on the left, and the club captain Marcel Ruiz, the Mexican, with 2 goals and 7 in midfield, and Vignato off the bench with 2. My club, right before my very eyes, are becoming an Italian juggernaut of sorts, and I'm in full control. I wish this was reality. I'm loving life. We need to have at least a Europa League qualification as the main priority. Otherwise, I can't complain if we get gifted, what, £38 million. We barely get any financial injections. We are working with scraps here to try and improve this squad. Now, Season 5 has presented us with a couple heartbreaking, controversial type of decisions we've had to make. I'm going to start off with the first one here with our brand new box-to-box midfield talent. It is Bove from Roma. In this save, he's ended up at Barcelona, and that has really excelled his career under Xavi. Playing in Spain, I think he can do it all. He can attack, he can defend, and we've had to give up our free agent find from Season 1. Ruiz is headed the other way, plus £18 million, and he's a new star player. He's proof in the pudding. Pairing up with Zambrano, I think they're going to bring the best out of each other, and it's going to provide that perfect balance. And of course, we get some bonus points because he's an Italian stallion. And if you're a long-time viewer of the channel, you already know Sir BCHD is the king of swap deals, and we love a little trade offer here and there. And for like the 3rd summer in a row, we've had to opt for quality over quantity, but they are substantial upgrades and high-class players who still can reach that world-class status. So we're going to bring this team to the top level, and that is PSG's new Brazilian star boy defender, Lucas Beraldo. He arrived in January in real life, and we've offered up Otavio, his fellow countryman, plus £16 million, and we have just got that one over the line. Pairing up with Caleb Akoli at the back, I think they're going to form a formidable partnership, and there's just something about Brazilian defenders in Serie A that gets me going. Ever since he was added into career mode, I've wanted to sign him, and with those 2 additions right there, our squad is starting to get serious. For this season, I thought it was time for some wildcard options, some utility players that are going to help us out in times of an injury crisis or suspension issues, and we've opted for 2 free agents, first being the versatile Serie A experience field Valentino Lazaro. Look, I know it's something out of left field, but I want to cover all bases. And the long lost but never forgotten career mode wonder kid of years gone by. He was an RTG staple. It's the Irish hitman Troy Parrott, who I hope in times of need, maybe when Brunner isn't firing, he's going to offer something different in our attack, and it's worth to take the chance on the now 25-year-old. We have drained our budget to the last straw, 22k left, and ladies and gentlemen, that is how you make the most of a shoestring budget. My bad, apparently I have zero ball knowledge, but I've got to be here to see my team being drawn out for the Europa Conference League. I know it's a Tim Pot competition, it's the one you don't want to win, but the boys are there, drawn into Group F with FC Norgeland, Excelsior, and I don't even know where or what that team is. We're going to be traveling to the back ends of Azerbaijan on a Thursday night, and I am here for it. Now I'm starting to debate whether we have the squad depth to balance all these competitions and fight on multiple fronts. I guess we'll have to find out. Now it's come down to the final day of the season, and I don't think we are mathematically possible to get Europa League football, but we have been presented with the golden opportunity to qualify for the Europa League next campaign, and that is the Coppa Italia final in the capital, taking on Napoli. Finally, we get one of those dream cup runs, and it's coming to fruition. We took down Palermo, bitter rivals, 2-0 in the round of 16. Over in the quarters, we got ourselves a gritty win against Juve away 1-0, and then in the semi-finals, on away goals, bring them back. I miss the away goals rule, but coming through 5-5 on aggregate, we win on away goals after a 3-3 draw, narrowly miss out on a regional derby in the final, but nonetheless, it's an opportunity to add to the trophy cabinet, win this cup for the first time in club history. This is what Napoli Napoli are rocking with. Still got Cavaradonna, Moise Keane up front, Gibbs White at right wing. Let's hope the boys are in their upset mood, because there's nothing more I'd rather do than drink the tears of the Napolitani. And let's... Morgan Gibbs White with a double in extra time. No, that is cruel. That is cruel. It wasn't to be, and maybe I was a little bit too confident. However, that still means we finished up in 7th spot, and the Europa League is ours for the taking, as it's Cosenza, Cagliari, and Catanzaro all to meet their fate. And the Rossoneri Milan come through 87 points on the final day. We get the last laugh there as Napoli lose the title by 1 point. Inter and Lazio make up the top 4. So that's the mold we've got to break. That is what we've got to contend with. Over in the Conference League, the lads were competing on all fronts and ended up losing out to the French. Marseille knocked them out 5-3 on aggregate. It was a tough draw. You can't even fault them really, because we're slowly, incrementally climbing our way up the ladder, climbing up the competitions, and we're still improving on our league finish too, with our top goal scorer being the Belgian Julian Duranville. He's approaching that world-class conversation, being converted into a goal-scoring winger, 29 goals and 7 assists. Meanwhile, his partner in crime on the right-hand side, Iran Kunda, with 18 goals and 3. Paris Brunner wasn't really firing all too much, only 12 goals and 5 for our out-and-out striker. And we have the new boy, Eduardo Bove, 9 goals and 5 assists. Kremashi, he's in there again. The American churning out 14 assists and 7 goals. And Troy Parrott, for a free agent off the bench, 5 goals and 1 is a decent return. And then it's the consistent 9 goal contributions from Zambrano. And Isaac Vural will be a backup attacking midfielder as the Turk returns to us on loan next year. Beraldo for his first kickabout in Italy with 1 goal from centre back. I've been the reason behind my hometown club reaching a major cup final, venturing and debuting in continental competition, so the board better show me the money in season 6. Over half a decade of trust, so I want to see cash, 55 million pounds. I mean, it's doable, we can work with it, but don't expect any transfers that are gonna grab all the Twitter headlines. However, what I am in the mood for is to play some games, to weaken our direct opposition, and make a statement signing that is going to send shockwaves around the country. Bruno, as much as we've devoted our time into crafting him into being an actual goal scorer, he isn't firing when the time is right, and now we have brought in a different element to our attack. He's so good, they named him once. Welcome, the Spaniard Samu. For £39.3 million, we poach him from Torino, who are just above us in the standings, and prize away one of their best target forwards. He's a 6'4" behemoth. Take a look at this. He's got the power header and aerial trait. He's going to win all the aerial duels, and he's going to have no problems bullying defenders week in, week out. Now, the 2 free agent scoops that we can afford with our remaining funds, they're here to make up the numbers. They're utility men at the end of the day. And first on the podium is Mamadou Nagida, the Cameroonian left back who looks promising and is only still 23. And Hamza, what a head chowdhury. I mean, that afro is almost as big as the moon. God damn. I found him unemployed. He was in the free agency, and because he can also do a shift in midfield, he's quite handy. For emergency use only, but when you're competing at these high levels, you need backup plans on backup plans. Now, we aren't quite champions league ready yet, but we aren't even Europa, because I thought 7th spot got you Europa. I don't even know anymore. Here we are, back in the Conference League again, and with a real shot of winning it this time. I think this squad, on paper, is way too good for the Conference League, so Excelsior, Hartberg, and Luzerne, prepare yourselves. My confidence is sky high. I've set the bar high, and if we don't start putting some serious results together and start challenging for the top 4, people are going to start asking questions. Sir BCHD's in the hot seat, and that's what the people watch. That's why you tune in, because a man of my prowess rebuilds and gets results. If there's anything season 6 has taught us, is that Frosinone are in the upper echelons of football in this country. Smoke it on your top 5 tonight. The Cannarini gathering 67 points under Sir BCHD's guidance. 10 points away from the Scudetto, but Milan winning it with only 77 points. Like, everyone's beaten everyone. We were 1 win away from Champions League qualification, but nevertheless, that is Europa League guaranteed in lucky season 7, as we were involved in the EA Sports Super Cup in this little mini tournament. We were knocked out 3-2 against Milan in the semis, and over in the Coppa Italia, we couldn't make it to the final again, knocked out in the round of 16, 3-1 to Fiorentina. Still no cup silverware to showcase, and look at the Conference League final, Celta Vigo versus Burnley. How did we end up faring? We topped the group with 11 points, got out, and in the round of 16, took a shock 3-2 defeat to Danish outfit outfit Norjalan 3-2, so that ended our European run, and maybe we were a little bit too complacent. I thought the lads would have had it in the bag, but clearly there's just something missing. They're lacking that killer instinct, that incisive habit that is going to make them a top team to be feared. As we take a look at all the stats, our top goal scorer, just when I thought I doubted him, just when I got a replacement in for him, Paris Runner actually starts scoring goals and becomes the club top goal scorer with 18. Now we've just got a striker selection headache to deal with, but it's a good problem to have as Julian Jurenville hits that 90 overall. He's now considered one of the world's best, and at 23 he has given me like peak Eden Hazard vibes. 14 goals, 8 assists, it can do it both. Even Samu, all that money we spent on him, we broke our transfer fee record. He delivered 10 goal contributions. I mean, he wasn't the first choice striker. 7 goals and 5 assists each for the midfield pairing, and Koleosho now fighting his way back into the first team. 6 goals and 2 for the right winger. Him and Iran Kunda just sharing that spot. You can start to see, like, we get goals and assists from everywhere. There's not like 2 or 3 players that are carrying the club. We are finding goals from reserve players, from substitutes. It's a team effort here at Frosinone. We don't like a one-man show. We don't want a poster boy. Now, I don't want to put pressure on it, but come on, time's ticking. 7 years without a trophy, not even like a Tim Pot Super Cup. The cabinet's getting a little bit dusty. We've got to start filling it sooner rather than later. Hopefully, a nice little lump sum of £95 million in the budget is going to help us on that quest. Before we could pull the trigger on any Season 7 recruits, we've had to make a few adjustments in terms of our offload department. We've had to say goodbye temporarily to Cesare Casadei, who's off to Wolfsburg for a 2-year loan spell, just to reinvigorate his career a little bit, and 2 minor departures for players on the wrong side of 30, and that's third string keeper Cero Follini for 1.2 million off to Lausanne, and then Giuseppe Caso, who we've sold to Rayo Vallecano for nearly 13 million pounds, and he's probably one of my favorite players in real life. An absolute stud, and I'll miss him dearly. Now, as much as we have striker selection headaches, we're going to have the same in the goalkeeper department, because for 2 seasons in a row, we have now broke the bank and smashed our record transfer fee, this time for one of the most hyped up upcoming goalkeeper talents in Europe, and that's for the Frenchman in between the sticks from Toulouse, Restes. We've had to buy him off Valencia for around about 66 million pounds. No, it came down to 64.9. But Juliame, welcome. He's now our brand new number 1. I don't think Turati will be too happy about that, but competition is tough, and we're going to fill our ranks with a bit more quality, a bit more rotation and depth when it comes to competing in multiple competitions, because we're definitely lacking something. So hopefully having more options is going to benefit us in the long term, and this time we're going to bring in someone on a permanent basis, Giovanni Fabian. With a little bit of a trade deal, we've got Isaac Vural headed the other way to Bologna plus 16 million pounds, and this kid was actually linked to us in the summer in real life, but unfortunately, like a lot of our real life transfer dealings, a better offer comes by and then he switches up. However, in FC24, they can't say no to Sir BCHD and this Frosinone super squad we're building. This takeover needs to be studied as we poach one of the best breakout stars of the Serie A campaign this year. It is Calafiori from Bologna, not only the centre back, but he can play a left back, he can cover defensively. As Riccardo arrives from Bologna, he's an absolute chat. Just look at him. It's another Italian stallion to add to this star-studded roster, and he's in his prime like the rest of this outfit, is ready to compete on the European stage. Now it's another historical night in club history because we're getting drawn out of the Europa League pot. It just sends shivers down the spine. I don't know if I'll ever get to witness this in my lifetime, but it's good to see it lived out here in FC24 as we get drawn into Group H alongside FC Lorient, Almere City, and Cracovia of Poland. We've just shifted a couple gears up a notch, so let's see if the boys can handle their heat in the kitchen. Now, how lucky did we get? How lucky can we get in lucky Season 7? As we scroll up towards the table, we were in a little bit of a title battle there. Fiorentina ended up running away with it with 80 points. The Viola crowned champions of Italy. We finished behind Inter and up there in the top 4. It's Champions League qualification for the mighty Frosinone with 72 points. We're climbing up Everest, baby. And oh, there we go. In the Coppa Italia, we came through getting revenge on Napoli in the capital with a 3-1 win. We finally take home our first piece of silverware. We've been waiting goddamn nearly over 100 years. 3-1 win against Parma in the round of 16, a quarterfinals derby win against Roma 1-0, and then a 3-1 aggregate display against Atalanta over 2 legs, meaning we are crowned cup champions. Our look towards Europe, our debut in the Europa, finishing perfectly on top of Group H, 18 points, qualifying for the round of 16 where we edged past Valencia 3-2. 2, come through in the quarters with a 4-3 aggregate win over Mainz, a little bit of a favourable draw, and there you have it, against Lazio in a regional derby. It's a 5-4 aggregate win to see us book our spot in the Europa League final. We've already qualified for next year's Champions League, but in 2030, we have the chance to win European silverware. The chance to do the double? Are you kidding me? Up against the Hammers, this ain't gonna be easy considering the type of lineup they're boasting. But surely, Sir BCHD's final curse can come to an end, and we can not only win the club the first major piece of silverware in history, but also take home a European medal. It would just put the icing on top of this delicious, mouth-watering cake, and in the 5th minute, club captain Bove steps up to the plate and proves that he's a big game player, got himself a professional yellow card too for the one and only goal of the match. And there it is, Frosinone Europa League champions. What is going on? We've snatched the double alright, and Sir BCHD is still donning that golden kit. Duranville standing loud and proud next to the Europa, but we ain't stopping there. We have lofty high ambitions, lofty high expectations for our debut in the UCL. I'd love to see us do battle in like that new format they announced, like the 36 teams league format, but we've just got to play by FC24's rules as we take a look at our top goal scorer. It's Paris Brunner with 24. It's like we've spent all that money on Samuel, the new striker, and this guy decides to lock in. He's approaching the 90s. Duranville with 17 goals and 5 assists on the left, and Iran Kunda now starting to get into his own bag. The Aussie with 13 goals and 5. Samu off the bench, still proving his worth as a viable starting option. We've got 2 reliable strikers. Bove with that Europa League winning goal, 11 and 8 for him this season, and Beraldo from the back, 6 and 2. Kremashki, of course, is our top playmaker with 24 overall goal contributions. The American dream right here. And then Zambrano in the middle. He's Mr. Consistent. He just always chips in with about like 8 to 10 goal contributions every year. Never misses a beat. Look at this even spread though. We've got goals coming from everywhere. The top 4 finish was the dream, but now filling up the cabinet with 2 trophies. Season 7 has been our biggest success yet. The best year in club history. And we're looking to use that as a platform as we approach flirting with a decade of being in charge. Now does this Champions League berth gift us with a Champions League budget, and for the first time ever, we're greeted with 9 figures in our transfer kitty. I know he's only been at the club for less than a year, but we had to sacrifice Calafiori to attract one of the best defenders in Europe. He's at the peak of his powers right now. He's in his prime, people, and that's the Italian national Giorgio Scalvini. He's been a hyped up young defender for years, and a quality just isn't there yet. We have to have an upgrade, and he's coming from the exact same talent factory, Atalanta, as we've included Ricardo in the deal, plus £49 million, and we've gotten an A for that deal, so we've gotten away with murder. It's the famous old adage, people. Attack wins your games, defense wins your titles, and that's the kind of mentality we're rocking with. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time in rebuild history I've ever sold a player and then brought them back for a reuniting with Sir BCHD, but there was no other player that deserved this moment than the star boy Matthias Sule. On loan in Season 1, causing mayhem and havoc that we just couldn't afford to keep, but now we've got our money up, we're locked in, and we're looking like a prime suspect to win some major titles in the next few years, and that's what this kid deserves. He is going right to the very top, mark my words. And Matthias Sule will return to Frosinone all but 8 years later, and we've done a major piece of business here with Liverpool. We included the transfer listed Kolyosho. He requested a transfer a couple seasons back. We managed to keep a hold of him, and the Argentine starlet is coming back to where it all began, where he got his major start in the top flight. He's going to be one of the main key pillars of our attack, and now this squadron is starting to post a real Champions League level threat. Oh my god, lads, this would be my worst nightmare. I wouldn't know what to do, but it's Manchester United versus Frosinone, the 2 clubs I've supported growing up. I mean, United got me into football. Look, I don't need to explain myself, but let's just say that they've both played a crucial role in me falling in love with football and doing all this with my life. So this would be a dream fixture. Like, it probably never has the possibility of ever actually happening in real life, and if it did, I'd probably have to go for Frosinone just because they're underdogs in this scenario. But here in career mode, I want my boys to win. They do it on pens, taking home the UEFA Super Cup in the process after the 2-2 draw. We beat the Champions League winners of last year, and that's just another piece of silverware to add to our ever-growing collection. Our debut Champions League draw has revealed itself. We've now participated in every single major European competition, and here we go, drawn into Group C, a little bit of a favourable one with Lille, FC Midtjylland, and Charleroi from Belgium. welcome. This is our starting 11 with both those new additions in the starting lineup, Sule and Scalvini, both coming in with a whopping 88 rating, and they are looking like golden boys of this entire puzzle piece. Alright lads, you know the situation here. There's one game left in the Serie A campaign, and we are walking away with the league. I'm sorry, Italian champions strutting their stuff, but there is a reason why I've stopped it. That's because we have a Coppa Italia final berth. No, we're going to ignore the Super Cup there, and it's against Milan, but it's a chance for a domestic treble. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm in the mood to watch my club have the chance to reign dominant over the country, be one of the best teams ever in Italian football history, and up against Milan in the capital. It's an extra time special thanks to Paris Brunner's winner. An 102nd minute goal from behind, 2-1 down, and we came back. Brunner with the double. This Frosinone Goliath triples up again, and we're just becoming an unstoppable force. No one can stop us now, and I'm sure we have the biggest target on our back. Now let's just have a day of it, destroy Serie B bound Bari, and bask in our Scudetto glory for the first time in club history. And no, excuse me, treble talk? Nah, the game doesn't even know that we are about to have the chance to win 4 trophies. The quadruple is up for the taking, and here we are in a Champions League final versus Athletic Bilbao. Okay, sure, I'll take that, but what a moment as Europa League winners. First time of asking, and we've made it all the way to the big dance, and my hometown club, boy, we've come from nothing. Let's take a look and see how we got here. Frosinone's quadruple hopes lies on this. We've got 12 points in the group, topped it undefeated. We love to see it over in the round of 16, and got an important 2-1 aggregate win against them over in the quarters up against West Ham. They tried to get some revenge for the Europa League loss last time out, but we ended up putting them in their place. 6-3 on aggregate. What a win. And then up against Matthias Sule's former employers, Liverpool, we got it done at Anfield. So much for those big European nights there, because we silenced the Reds. In a sweet away day win, Athletic Bilbao tucked away Inter, and that set up a clash for the ages. Who was carrying this team on their back? And Paris Brunner has just put down his best goal scoring season ever. And what a time. He's hit that 90 overall, still only 25, 35 goals and 2 assists. Julian Duranville, who's just been an absolute hot rod ever since we signed him. 28 goals, 18 assists, and I believe for the first time in this rebuild, someone has hit double figures in both departments. So that's damn right near 46 goal contributions. Insane stuff from the Belgian. Another one who's still only 25. Sule in his prime, the Argentine, coming through with 20 goal contributions, returning back to his rightful home. Iran Kunda took the news of being replaced well, still chipping in with 11 goals and 2. Oscar Zambrano, the Ecuadorians, had one of his best campaigns to date, and Eduardo Bove is going to captain the Lions out tonight. I'm not quite sure how I feel about a Roma Youth Academy product doing it, but it is what it is. As the American Dream, Ben Kremashki, 4 goals and 11. Scalvini had a decent outing for his first time in yellow and blue, 3 goals and 3. Lucas Beraldo is turned into our best defender. And here's the current state of the rest of the roster for those wondering. Everyone listed here, 31 strong, have contributed to this quadruple push. Now it's time for them to flex their muscle and show off on the biggest stage of their careers. And here's how Bilbao's lining up. They've still got Nico Williams in there. I think his older brother might have retired, but they haven't been following the Basque transfer policy as of late. This ain't no walk in the park. Like, they've made it all the way to the final. They're a decent outfit for a chance of back-to-back European glory. We want the ribbons to be blue and yellow. I would die to see this happen in real life. I would pay crazy amounts of money to get a matchday ticket to a Champions League final of Frosinone. I don't know what I'd do to get them, but I'd be there. That's all I say. As men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. We've proven to the world that we're the best in Italy, and now it's time to showcase that we're the best in the world. Zambrano ball on the inside, Bove in an abundance of space, and he chips it over the top to Brunner on the half volley. What a moment in this Champions League final, 5 minutes into it. And why is the crowd completely white? Who knows? But it's an ounce of class from the man in top form, getting his 36 goals in all competitions. The crowd have turned into an all-white party, but we don't care. Efficient with the strike, and it gets us 1 goal to the good. So BCHD can't contain himself on the sidelines. Dressed up tonight in that famous gold suit, and it only took 6 minutes for our #1 talisman to strike. Oh, Sir BCHD, manager of the month, I'll take it. Zambrano with a lovely interception. That's exactly what we're paying the big bucks to do, the CDM, and Coyote linking up with Sule on this right-hand flank, and all of a sudden the Bilbao defense has gone to sleep. Kremashki with the poor time shot as Nico Williams for his hometown club. Oh no, Nico Williams just teared our entire defense apart, and he squares it across Restes. It's going to be a penalty. But Aldo, don't be a red card. Oh, it's a silly challenge, and this has just opened the game up entirely. When you thought we were going to cruise to victory, but Aldo with his hands behind his back, that's a dive, bro. He literally just clipped his ankle. It was just in the way. It was a coming together. And Jimenez, he's looking right, and he does a Panenka. Oh, the Mexican, he's cold. He's got aura here tonight, and he's equalized things for the Basque club. 1-1. Orestes was a little bit cocky. Maybe I should have stayed down the middle. That is cool under pressure personified. We're going to need a big managerial halftime talk to get these boys over the line. We've got numbers here, but so do we. But Aldo with a crucial block. We're not conceding a corner. Zambrano, maybe we should have given the ball straight back to them in the dangerous area. Jimenez, who's on a yellow card, their goal scorer, and that's a perfect chance for Perone at the near post, but Restes was well aware. First substitution of the night, Ivan Ilic on for Mateus Fernandez. Heads it down, and Duranville wants it again into a nice delivery at the back stick. And there, oh, Bobby was there. I thought that was in. Hits the post. Now wants to put it on the inside. A lovely little curl to it. And Brunner's header goes wide. Duranville with his electrifying pace. We've got to get him involved. And Utara, ball over the top. It was a terrible little lunge over the top. Duranville with the second bite of the cherry, and out of nothing, the Belgian gets his name on the score sheet. He's been doing it ever since season 2, and that could be the big moment that gets our noses in front. The keeper should have caught that, but Duranville on the tightest of angles reacts to it first and slots it into an empty net. We retake the lead, and this time we've got to hold on. Big challenge there from Scalvini, who's been rock solid tonight, but Bilbao won't give up. There's still 15 minutes, plenty of time left for the Basque outfit to do something in front of net, and Ilic pulls the trigger. Restes, quick reactions. They're telling us our players are fatigued, and oh my goodness, Zambrano, he's gone down injured as well. He's given away possession. Kremashki, who's got 2 players in his sights. Duranville wants a double, and Duranville's going to strike it again. As it's a defensive change, a classic Italian move, but Lorenzo Colombo, a fellow Italian stallion, coming on to try and send it into extra time as we bring on Caleb Akoli. There, we just want to hold the ball. We just want to assert our dominance. It's 2 minutes of added time. A third would be the cherry on top as Matthias Soulet assesses his options in the box. A nice little cross inside. Duranville was there. The header goes astray. And now Kremashki, the American. That's a handball. VAR, where are you? And it's not going to matter anyway because we just get there again. Back-to-back consecutive 2-1 wins in the Champions League. Sees us go all the way, securing the Scudetto, the Coppa Italia, the Super Cup, and now the biggest of them all to complete the set. It wasn't a masterful display. It was quite an ugly win, but that's how you get them as champions. You've got to force your way through the mud when the team isn't playing well, when you're missing chances, when you're being sloppy in possession. And there we have it now. Captain Bovet about to lift up the Holy Grail, and doesn't it look good in gold and blue? The Azzurri, champions of the world, my hometown club, ruling supreme, and we have just made a dynasty right here, people. We could probably go until the end of career mode, and this team would just win trophy after trophy after trophy. What a way to go out. What a send-off. I couldn't have asked for a better finale, and you can bet your bottom dollar the boys, the team we assembled, were cold. They asserted their aura, and then out dancing on the Spaniards on their own territory. And if you guys made it this far and enjoyed the rebuild, make sure to drop a video, like it down below. This one, of course, has a lot of sentimental value. It's a video that I love doing every year. It's a regular occurrence. So if you want to see more Frosinone hometown team action, make sure to hit subscribe as we're on the road to 150k subs. Follow me on my socials. Links will be down in the description below. But as always, I've been your boy, BCHD. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the very next video. Bye-bye.